Hello, and welcome everyone to Lunch with Linda. I'm Linda Daniels, the owner of Northampton Wools, and here you are inside the shop. I am happy to see everybody, or hear or read everybody that joins us today. It is July 26th, the last Monday of July. Can you believe how fast July went? Of course, it went super fast for me because I was out there in California on vacation. But I am back now, fully back. We sent Ava back. She was here for a week, and she's now back home in California as well. It was her first big sleep away from home, and it was her first single visit by herself to us here in Massachusetts. And she was here during those really bad thunder and lightning storms, which was a completely new experience for her. So we had a couple of late nights while she tried to get comfortable during those storms, and kept me up with her. But now she's gone, she's back, she's happy, I'm happy, rested, and ready to go. I've got some notes here, so you're going to see me looking at them because I want to make sure I don't miss anything or forget to tell you something, because today we've got some stuff. Hi Gia, hi Eileen, and I will try to see your comments, so try to say hi so that I know you're here and watching. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. I can see that there are some people that have joined us already, so that's good. So I'll get right into it. Like I said, I am just back from vacation and I'm feeling refreshed and excited and ready to make this knitting season one of the best that we've had. Hey Bess, good to see you there. So I've been ordering new yarn, and if you did not yet see my video from my visit with Trendsetter Yarns out in California, hop on over to YouTube when you get a chance and look for our YouTube channel called Inside Northampton Wools. And it's about an 8-minute video that just sort of gives you an overview of what it was like for me to be allowed inside the Trendsetter Yarns warehouse. They are a yarn store provider. So when yarn stores need yarn, that's one of the companies that they will go to get it. And so I had a little sneak peek inside, got a little sneak peek on what some of the fall yarns are, and was able to place an order. And there's even more yarn from them that I will order later on. And I can't wait to knit with some of those yarns. They are really, really beautiful. So take a look at that. Let me know what you think and what you might be excited to see on the shelves here at Northampton Wools, so that you can knit with it too. Last week, lots of people had trouble getting on our Facebook. I don't know what was going on, except that we were really kind of rushed and set it up with the phone rather than the computer, and it might have had something to do with that. But we're back, and I just want to mention a couple of things that we talked about last week, just so that in case you missed it, you'll see. And Terry's joining us, and Bonnie's here. Great to have you both with us. So one of the things that we got in last week were the sheep pillows. We got these in once before and we sold out of them right away. So I ordered them again, and that's what the sheep pillow looks like. It's a rug hooked front and a kind of velour-like back. It has a zipper across the back, so you can take the cover off. It's not wool. It is a polyester, so you can take the whole thing off and machine wash it if it does get dirty. But I just thought these were so enchanting and so cute with this sheep and the flowers on it that I had to have them. So we've got 8 in, although we actually are only gonna have 7 for sale because I'm gonna keep one this time for myself. Buy one for me, and put that on my couch so the dog can lay in it, right? No, not really. But we got these in, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that they were here. They're really, really fun. And even though, here was the other thing, Even though I did a lot of knitting on vacation, I couldn't wait, or I really enjoyed the time that I finally had alone, so that I could completely indulge in binge watching Poldark. I'm only about not even halfway through the season of that, and really do some fast, fun knitting. I did a lot of knitting on vacation. I'm not going to say I didn't knit at all, but I feel like I was constantly interrupted. I was a lot of put down, pick up, put down, pick up. And so I needed time when I was in charge of the remote. I had the TV to myself and I could just knit. And I started and finished a yarn, a sweater that I've been eyeing for quite a while. It's the Miquelon, and I posted it on Instagram. It's done with puffin from Quince Yarn Company, and it is considered a super bulky. Now, I've been wanting to knit that sweater for a while, but I was kind of afraid that it might be too bulky, that people might feel like it was too heavy a sweater to wear. But I went ahead and made it, and once I started knitting with it, I realized this yarn is really wonderful. It is light and actually feels really good. Now the sweater is still really wet. I really shouldn't even have it in here, but I went ahead and brought it in. So this is what the cable in the center of this sweater looks like. I can't get this to go right. So this is a top down in the round sweater with twisted stitches, good Lord, with twisted stitches to make up the cable. And you know what kind of trouble we all have with this backward stuff on the video. But anyway, it's top down, it's got a raglan sleeve increase, the cable goes all the way down to the bottom, and it's a purl side out. So you are doing a lot of purling, but it's a really fast knit, like I said, on a size 15 needle. And the sweater itself is really, really nice. It's gonna be a great one to wear. Next week, it'll be dry enough for Kate to actually model it. And the puffin from Quince is an American wool that's really pretty soft. Not superwash soft, because it's not a superwash yarn, but a really nice feel to it. And it only took 6 skeins. I don't think you can kind of see it, right? Other shoulder, right there. Someday we'll figure this out. Right there.
Yeah.
All right. So it only took 6 skeins to do that sweater, and it's a really good price point. And the sweater came out to be about a 40-inch in the chest. So you will have to look at that the next time that you come in and see what you think. But my tip about it is this. It's not particular to this sweater, but because this sweater is knit in the round from the top down, when I bound off, the sweater, the body of the sweater slightly torqued. And torquing means that it has a little slant to it. So when the cable, instead of being straight up and down, kind of went off at an angle. Now, it's not the knitting, it's the direction of the knitting. Because you're constantly going around and around in the same direction, it can have a tendency to send your knitting off in that direction. And the key to fixing that is in the blocking. So I let that sweater soak overnight, which is basically why it's taking so long to dry. That and the fact that yesterday was such a lousy day for drying. Today it will finish up drying. When I'm done, I'll spread it all out and even it all up. But soaking wet, I let the water drain out of the sink. I squeezed out the excess that I could. I wrapped it in a towel and walked on it, wrapped it in a dry towel again and walked on it. And then the key is in the laying it out. I laid it out flat, made sure that cable went straight up and down, and that the side seams were straight and even and where they should be. There isn't a seam, but it's just where the side folds should be. And let it dry like that. And that will take care of that slight twist in the body So that's our tip. If you do experience that, I find that it's the top downs that give me that problem. For some reason, I don't have the same kind of issue if I'm doing something from the bottom up. I can't really explain it more than that. It might be the going to the right versus going to the left, or something to do with that. But that's something to look for and know that it can easily be fixed with a little bit of good blocking in it. So today's tip is, don't be afraid to do a really good soak. It's not going to hurt anything to be in that water for longer than 15 or 20 minutes. Really lets the fiber absorb it, and then the piece itself is really malleable and does what you want it to do. We had a really busy Saturday this week, and a little story to tell you about something that happened. We had 2 young women come in who have been in before, and they're relatively new knitters. Hey, Ruth Ann. Hey, Linda. Hi, Maureen. And they had bought 2 skeins of the cotton yarn from Unique. And Unique, you know, is one of my very favorite companies. I really love all of their yarn and everything that they do. But one skein she had wound up by herself into a perfect little ball, and the other skein she was practically in tears about. And you know what I'm talking about. She brought me this and said that she had already spent hours trying to unravel this torturous skein. And because this is cotton, it's really knotting up quickly. We've been there. You know what a nightmare this is. I always say that if you want to put a curse on a knitter, all you have to do is say that every skein of yarn they touch will never wind up into a ball. So this is really a nightmare kind of thing. So we are going to fix this for her because that's what we do. In the meantime, she got another skein of yarn so that she could continue to knit. But also remember that we will wind the yarn for you when you purchase it here. And we'll also teach you how to use the winder so you can wind it yourself. We just ask that you be a little bit patient with us, because if we're busy and it is only one of us here, then we're not always going to have time to wind 3 or 4 or 5 skeins at a time. But the other thing is, I wanted to give you a little bit of a lesson in how to do that. So when you get the skein, the first thing that you need to do is to unwrap it. And the trick to that is usually finding where that fold is, that kind of bunch right there, and pushing it through. And you want to be able to open this up into a great big loop. And you should be able to snap it like that. That's step 1. Bonnie, don't worry. I have you in mind. Bonnie just offered to untangle it. I didn't tell them that you would do it, but that's exactly. And yes, Bess, it is the Unique cotton. The next step before you do anything is check the ties. The Unique cotton has the tag tied on with white cotton, and then it has one other tie in it around it right there. What you want to look at is that the tie goes completely around, and that there are not even one strand of yarn crossing over that tie. You should be able to follow those ties all the way around the skein with no crossovers, no strange or weirdo things falling across it. Then you know that everything is in the order that it's supposed to be, and a really good hard snap. Now, ideally, you have a Swift of your own. We've got those rosewood Swifts for sale. They're $50, and they're beautiful on top of everything else of doing the job. Put it on the Swift, you can then wind it by hand. If you don't have a Swift, you want to drop it over the back of a chair, or beg the person that you live with to hold it out. Kate's going to volunteer to do that, to hold it out for you.
So you can start winding.
So you can start. So at that point, once it's on some kind of form, then cut the ties. And when you cut the tie, you also want to make doubly sure, especially the tie one. I'm just going to cut this knot out like that, and it unwinds. Okay, you can hold it again.
Okay.
This one is not woven through. Hold it like that. It is, you can see I can pull the strand and it comes right off the hank. But sometimes, and remember, these things are hanked by people. They're not a machine hank. There's somebody over there in Turkey doing this. Sometimes I think it's an evil person, but sometimes they weave it through the strands. So you really want to make sure that you completely undo that woven end so that it can come right off the skein like that. If that happens, if it starts to flow, you should be okay. And it should not tangle up again unless you're trying to do it in your lap or putting it over your feet and thinking that you can wind just like that. I've done it. I've tried it. Inevitably, it drags more of the loops with it, and that's when you start to end up in a tangle.
And Linda, I have a question. Would you cut these before you put it on the Swift?
No, I don't cut anything before I put on the Swift. Good question, Kate. All of those ties are there to assist you. So they don't need to be done before you put it on the Swift or before somebody's holding it. It's the thing you do. Cut the ties just before you start to wind it up. But like I said, we'll wind them for you, we'll help you, we'll show you how to use our winder, and as long as you're not abusive to it, your winding privileges will continue here at Northampton Wools. So that was our sad kind of moment there, but we'll take care of this and she'll be able to knit with it. It is a mess.
It's relatable,
It is. Haven't we all been there?
Yeah,
I mean, at some point, too, I've even cut it and said, forget it. I don't need that much yarn. I'll make my piece shorter, something like that. Okay, so our clearance sale, as you can see, is continuing. We've got just about everything that I was going to put on sale marked, and we sold quite a bit of it this weekend, and this week is a return to sidewalk sales days here in Northampton. I know for a fact that there are about 45 stores that are participating, and we're one of them. They should come and set the tent up sometime before Thursday, probably on Wednesday, and we will have all kinds of deals out there on the sidewalk Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're not usually open on Sunday during the summer, but for sidewalk sales, we do open up. We're going to have a lot of yarns marked down even more, and we're going to have a lot of stuff, and we're going to have a lot of our models marked down to hopefully entice you. And if you do purchase one of the models or one of the already knit items and decide to give it for a gift, we won't tell if you say you knit it. We really won't tell. You can hint around that you made it specially for whoever you're gifting it to. But I hope we see you then. I know that Eileen Fisher is also going to be participating in the sidewalk sales with their normal sample sale this year. They haven't done that for a couple of years. So they've got 50% off a lot of their stuff, and then they'll have their sample sale going on at the same time. So I know I'm going to see some of you in line on Thursday morning, lined up and ready to dive into those sale items over there. So it should be a beautiful week. They're saying maybe a little bit of rain on Thursday, but otherwise it looks like the weather's gonna cooperate this year. And so Northampton should be bustling and active and exciting again. I can't wait to walk around a little bit and see what everybody else is doing as well. Like I said, we'll be open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to be open 10 to probably 5:30, and we'll be open on Sunday as well from 12 to 5. And then we'll move everything back in and go back to our regular Wednesday through Saturday hours for the rest of the summer. I have been, like I said, designing or developing classes, and I'm going to be sending out an email about those because I've scheduled 4 different things. The very first class that I'm going to do is August 15th. That's a Sunday afternoon, and it is National Crochet Granny Square Crochet Day. So we're going to do a how to make a granny square class on that day, and I started doing some sample granny squares with my bin of leftover trash yarn, I usually call it. So look for that class. It's not a learn to crochet day, so you do need to know how to hold a crochet hook and how to do a double crochet. But if you want to learn how to do a granny square so that you never need a granny square pattern again, that's the class for you. It's going to be from 12 to 3 on Sunday, August 15th, but I will be sending out an email about that. So Bess is saying that she really recommends a Swift at home, and she had a cheaper metal one, and treated herself to the Likey. That's the one that we have. It is really special, isn't it, Bess? It's not only really pretty, but boy, there's something about that rosewood that makes it really smooth to open up and close. So we've probably got about 3 or 4 of those left, and we can always get more. So take a look at those. So Granny Square Day is the first class that we're going to do. And then, Kate, I don't think I gave you the spice. Did I give you the spice shawl link?
I'll find it.
Because Earth Yarns has come out with another shawl design that I want to do as a class, and it's called Spice Shawl. It's done with 3 colors of the Harvest and 1 color of the Multicolor Unique. And it is a triangular shawl that is done with all kinds of different stitch patterns and a little bit of lace and a little bit of color work. So we're going to do that as a class starting mid-August. Kate's going to put the link to that pattern right now. You are not going to be able to get the pattern from me per se as a printed item. It's I think this one is 19 pages long, just because there are 2 variations, and when you purchase the pattern on Ravelry, it gives you both variations. You can purchase it through me and print it yourself. You can purchase it in store, and it'll go to your Ravelry library, and you can print it yourself. And if all else fails and you really do need us to print it for you, I'm just going to have to charge you something for the printer, for the printing. And I think Kate and I decided on like 50 cents a page to cover our paper and ink supplies, which we're probably going to have to do more, because now these designers are writing patterns that are 14 to 20 pages long, and we just can't afford to keep doing that kind of printing. So we'll figure out a way if you want to participate in that. But I'll be sending that out in the email as well. And then in addition to that, I'm going to do a top-down Fair Isle yoke class like this one that I just did in Owl. And I'm going to recommend 4 patterns, and you're going to choose one of them, and then we'll be able to have this top-down class where you learn short rows, you learn to read a chart, you learn to work with color, and we'll get you from the neck to the underarm in the classes that we do. And then once the sleeves are split off, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. So you will have some great fun with that, because this year Fair Isles are still really popular. And then in September, 2 things in September right now. We will return to our regular class schedule at the end of September. So if you are a regular class attendee, you'll get first choice, first dibs on signing up for those classes, and then we'll fill in. And then we're also going to do a smooth seaming day on Saturday, September 11th, where I'm going to teach you 6 different ways of sewing seams. And so we should have some fun with that. So you don't need a sweater or anything like that. We'll have some samples, some swatches that you'll be able to practice all of those different seaming methods on. So all of that information you will get in an email, and how to sign up, and hopefully you'll be ready to come back to class. All of those classes are going to have in-person limits on them. We're going to ease our way back into this because it's still kind of iffy out there. Don't you agree? And what your comfort level is. But I think we're also going to be able to make them available as Zoom classes. So we'll have some in-person people, and at the same time we'll have people on Zoom. But we're going to limit the number of people in both of those places. So if we have 8 people in person, we might only have 6 people, or vice versa. 6 people in person, 8 people on Zoom, unless it's something I think we can do a lot of people all at once with. So there is all of that. One more thing. I am a great advice giver. You guys know that. And I have over and over said to people when they come in looking for baby items, just kind of thrown out there, knit a blanket, knit a sweater, have something in a little baby stash place, something that you can save and have ready to go when that baby comes up. So I might be very good at saying that kind of stuff, and I am not very good at doing that kind of stuff, because lo and behold, here I am back from vacation, and boom, 3 babies in my life that need to be gifted. Do I have anything ready? No. And I torture myself. Will they even want something that I've made, that I've knit or crocheted? I'd love to make a blanket, but now I'm looking at 3 babies. Our next door neighbors just adopted a 2-day-old baby. Natalie Bell, who used to work for me, just had her little boy, and I have a niece who's about to give birth any moment, if she hasn't already, and needs to be given something. And I drive myself nuts with, I want to make something nice, but I want to make them something that they'll use, and what if they don't like it, or what if they treasure it? I don't want to make something and have people put it away and never use it. That's not the point. I want them to give them something that they're going to enjoy and use. That's the whole purpose of it. Do I make a Christmas stocking? But what if that's already a family tradition and great Aunt Sally has already made the Christmas stocking? What if they have a particular design, look, blah, blah, blah. I talk myself right out of everything and go crazy. And so, like I told Kate this morning, I was obviously sending all those messages out to the universe because I got an email from Lion Brand, whose patterns I actually use pretty often. And they had a pattern for a toy, a stuffed bear and rabbit. And we do have the link for that. It is a free pattern on Lion Brand, and I think they've even put it up on Ravelry. And I was so enchanted by it that I said, this is the answer. I have gotten the answer to my problem. And so Friday, in between customers, I actually got the pattern and made the teddy bear. Look at this guy. Now, I was originally, when Kate puts the link up, you'll see how incredibly cute they are. You start with the head, and I was gonna make the bunny rabbit, but as soon as I got the head done, it just said, no, I'm the teddy bear, you fool. And so I made the teddy bear. Now on this one, it does tell you to use those safety eyes. And on this one, I first embroidered the eyes, and then I took those out and put the safety eyes in. But truthfully, I prefer an embroidered eye just because this is a crochet fabric. And crochet fabric is much holier. It has more space than a knit fabric does. And I'm nervous about the eyes eventually popping through, especially if they're really grabbed or sucked on. So even though it calls for safety eyes, and I used them on this one, I'm going to recommend that you actually embroider them. It's a fit. This is a crochet piece. Both the bear and the bunny are crocheted. I did it out of the Bella chenille that we have here in the store. It's a really thick, soft chenille. It's a pretty straightforward, easy crochet pattern, and a lot of what they do, she's got some really great tips on how to do the embellishment and the shaping, just a little bit of shaping with the yarn itself, so that you create some of the features without actually going overboard. She actually does some shaping on the foot with yarn ties, which I did not do. I just said, you know what, this is good enough. But I want this guy, it's so soft, I want him to be hugged and loved and dragged around until he's empty of stuffing and it's just basically a strand of yarn. That's the whole idea. Give a gift to a baby that they're gonna love, that they don't have to be so careful of, and that they don't have to have for the rest of their life. It's for being a baby, and a welcome to the world. So that's my recommendation. Ravelry is doing this as a kit, and you can purchase the kit right through their website, or you can get just the free pattern and come on in and I'll show you what I used. This guy is gonna live here. I am gonna make others for the 3 babies that I need to give gifts for, and I've answered the baby problem. So let me just make sure. I think that's everything today, guys. I just need to turn this one sticky page to make sure. Yep, that is it. And so if you've got questions, I'll be here on Wednesday. I'll be here the rest of the week. I am really excited about what's coming for fall. Like I said, we're ordering yarns. We've got some really fun things coming in soon, and I can't wait to share them with you. And I just want to say thank you all for joining me. There's a lot of stuff out there now. The shop hop is next month too, don't forget that. And the podcasters, Needles at the Ready and Rumple and Frog, are already live and on YouTube, so you can search for them, but it's a time commitment. Needles at the Ready had a 2-hour podcast where they talked about other stuff, but that's the one that we were in. So just watching them, I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys showing up for this. So don't forget, I hope I see you at Sidewalk Sales so we can help you pick something for your end of summer projects. If you're on vacation, enjoy the sunny weather and the beach or the mountains or no matter where you are, and hopefully we'll see you in time for one of our new classes this month. So now go knit something, everybody, and I'll see you this week. Bye-bye.